And we are live. Finally. Hey guys, welcome in. Appreciate everybody hanging out. I know we started a little bit late, but we did that on purpose. Hanging out with actually Kyle's here from As the Structure Fails, which is an amazing band. If you guys haven't heard them yet, what the hell? I've been posting them nonstop. But say hi.
That's it. Hey guys, what's going on? Mark, the master, driving through red lights to get here.
He was determined to be here. He
Oh,
was
that was
not missing it. Which
Kat sent me that your text, and I was cracking up. That was unreal.
but no, honestly, because a lot of people that like rock or metal that have heard your band's music, I've loved it.
Well,
And
yeah, we're stoked on that for sure.
because this community specifically is very big on pushing independent artists, big, small, doesn't matter, people that they rock with, to especially the reactor community, because we know a lot of content creators, reactors, and actually, like, pushing the music out there, getting people interested or involved, or just taking a
Yeah.
look.
Well, because when you're independent, it really is what it means. It means you're independent. It means you have, generally speaking, very little outside help. Now you can still have like managers and booking agents and things like that. But for most, essentially they're self-managing, they're self-booking. So you have to do all these different jobs, really. You have to become, uh, the recording engineer, you have to become the booker, you have to become the manager. So it brings on like a whole new set of challenges that certain signed artists wouldn't have to deal with, right?
Exactly. No, absolutely. Before I get any further, I'm going to ask the chat to respond to anything that we're saying so that we know. I had a fun snafu last time where they didn't even know we were live for like 20 minutes. We were talking the whole time. It was great. Just let us know if you can hear us both, if you're hearing what we're saying, so I don't make that radical snafu again.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I mean, oh, there we go. Thank you, Casey. Appreciate it.
Yeah, okay, good to hear.
Well, you just never know. I didn't know because I set it up on YouTube as a
Mhm.
mobile because I was doing it. I was in the middle of moving. So I was at one house, so I used my phone to set it up so there'd be a link. So when I get to the other house where my PC was, I went live, but it wanted a mobile live, so it didn't acknowledge that I was live. So we were talking and everything's fine, and the chat's like, did they change the time? I'm like, uh oh. This is 20
Honestly,
minutes
like
in. I was like, wow, the community's not engaging at all. Okay, rude, but fine.
the tech side of things is honestly like it can be so stressful. Um, one click of one button, one little volume knob. It's kind of like a live show in that sense.
Yep.
Um, there's a lot of stress like right before you play live. There's so many things to check on, especially as a full band rather than like let's say you're doing, if you're a solo artist doing an acoustic set, it's very basic. Low stress when it comes to the setup. And then as soon as you add in five guys with backing tracks, click tracks, and everything like that, it definitely gets like a whole lot more complex. Um, but we just played Ottawa actually.
Oh,
Just the
wow.
city news. Not sure if you saw that,
I did
but
see that you posted something about it because I've been kind of sort of stalking, because that's how I do my research. I just stalk people.
yeah,
Like I hear the music, I mess with somebody. Like I tend to like just randomly take 5 to 10 minutes once or twice a day, go through like Instagram and just see what lands there. People I've never heard of. This actually heard of you guys through 307 Reacts, who are very very good friends of ours. Great people.
they are cool dudes, aren't they?
They, yeah, I talk to Chris all the time. I talk to Matt not as much as Chris, but they're just awesome. And and to be honest, like as soon as I like figured out who you guys were, I went and I followed or whatever. And so I just waited to see things show up. Usually, I don't ask anyone to come on right away. I give it some time just to organically see if they're pushing their own content, if they're hustling, if they're grinding, if they're pushing their own stuff on their stories, because it matters. Like if you're
Oh,
gonna
100%.
if I'm gonna tell my community, you guys are no, this is not personal. I'm not saying you guys, but if anyone is worth supporting, then they need to be doing the work themselves, right? You need to be pushing yourself, and that's I'm gonna tell my community, hey, they're really putting themselves out there. We need to support them, show up for when they stuff drops or when they go live on Instagram or whatever. Without that personal hustle and grind, I mean, I'm not here for that. Do you know what I mean? Like
No,
people who just like put a song out there and they're like, hope someone hears it.
yeah, no, you got to respect the grind.
Yeah.
And like you said, especially for independent artists who don't have as much backing. So, like, the extra support is huge, right?
No, absolutely.
Especially in your reactor community. With you guys, you seem to know how many do you know? I guess is the question. 307, Jen, Shay was it as well?
Yeah, Carly Shay, I know her. She's live right now. Actually, we were talking. She's actually starting a podcast, which is, you know, she's starting with 307 as her first guest on Saturday. So shout out to
I
Carly
saw
Shay.
that on the channel actually. I went to
Yeah.
her channel and I saw 307. I went, oh, look at this.
Uh huh.
We're all one tight little community.
No, it absolutely is. And once people start getting into the sense of community and understanding that you can support each other without stepping on each other, that you can lift each other up, or if I know something that's going to help you, I mean, honestly, me telling you something that maybe you didn't know, how is that going to just make it be a disservice to myself? Right? Like it
Mm,
doesn't, it's not like that anymore. It used to be, you know, 20, 30 years ago, like everybody kept all their cards real close to the vest, like you don't say anything about things, but now anybody can subscribe or follow or listen to thousands of artists, right? So I don't understand why people like withhold from each other. That's why we all kind of work together. I mean, if you wanted me to list them off, it would take me a good couple minutes. There's quite a few that not only have I had as guests, but I mod for a ton of them. Some of them are mod and name only because I just don't have time. But when it comes to the family, the reactor community that I know, it's pretty big. It's pretty big.
yeah, no, which is amazing. And FYI to the chat here, my name is Kyle. Not sure if I introduced myself. Kyle Laird. I'm brothers with the other vocalist, Carter Laird. So we're the two guys in the front of the photo there in the promo. If you're looking at the screen, it would be I'm the guy on the right, um, with without the hat on. So that's me there. That's my brother. And then we have the other three members in the back, from right to left. Jake in the plaid guitar. Clark, he's in the back center. He's on drums. And then on the far left is Brian, our other guitarist. Just to clear that up. And we're gonna have Carter come in. He's gonna be able to talk for a bit, come hang out with everyone. So we'll be doing that shortly.
See, he knows how to do this better than I do. He's like,
I just wanted to make sure we cleared that up there.
hey, you.
So there was,
By the way, we might want to introduce, the band. The
yeah,
people in the band.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
kind of a necessary. Sure, sure. I got you.
Jared, what's going on, dude? What are you up to today?
No, I really appreciate you guys taking the time and you taking the time and talking to me and the back and forth, like coming into Jen's earlier because I just popped in there right off my lunch break and I was like, oh, let me try and get this in. I love her and
Yeah,
she loves rock and metal. Like, well, if you hadn't figured that out. Um, and I was like, oh, that would be perfect. That'd be perfect. And then it was like took forever, and I'm like, it's killing me because I'm working and listening and lurking and trying to talk. Oh, it was fun. But no, she's a great person to know as well, and she wants to check out more of your music. I think Truth No Lie, he checked yours out. He didn't like the video because he thought he didn't understand why everyone was sleeping.
no, that's why we basically get into a room together and we're thinking, what is the strangest thing that we can come up with? And basically that's how we start our brainstorm because I don't know if you've seen our other videos.
I've seen some, yes.
Yeah, so we like to keep it weird,
You like
keep things
themes.
interesting. And Jared, you're chilling before work. What do you do for work? Jess, nice to meet you too. Where are you guys from? Um, Unless Kat, do you know these? Do you know Jared or Jess?
I do.
Yeah, you do.
I do. I know them
Good
pretty
friend
well.
of yours?
Most of the people, most of the people I've seen in here so far, I know pretty well. Um,
Good. Wow.
the ones in blue are my mods, um, and the ones that aren't in blue are my friends. So they're most of them are part of the community. I have a Discord community that started before the podcast did, so a lot of them have
Well.
been there for. Oh, shut up, Casey. Have been there for. It's. I think the Discord's been there a year. A lot of people have been. Jess was the first one in there over a year ago.
Mm,
So, but yeah, a lot of them they're really pretty sincere. They show up consistently. They show support consistently, and if they like your music, they're gonna show up to anything you drop. They're gonna drop comments. They're gonna drop likes. They know how to do it.
yeah, they know what's going on. We
Mm-hmm.
got like I would say, off the top of my head, we got a bunch of stuff coming out. We have two videos that are done. Where those probably gonna be dropping one like at the end of this month. So look out for that. We're super super stoked on this one. It's not as weird as what we normally do, but we kind of like to mix things up. We have like kind of the more serious videos that we've got, like the more classic performance wise, and then we have our other sector kind of music videos where it's all the visual doesn't match the audio at all, in a comedic way. So if you guys have any ideas for videos for us to do, that is one thing that we're always open to. So if you like know our band or you've seen our videos, just comment it. I'm on there all the time. I pretty well run the actual YouTube channel, so I see most of the comments. So any recommendations, we would love to do like a fan video in a sense. You know what I mean?
Right. From a fan suggestion, yeah. You
That's
know,
right.
and here's the thing. I mean, a lot of people in here, we watch, was it Eskimo Call? Oh wait, Electric Callboy. Is that what it is now? Um,
Yeah.
and when
Major
it
name.
comes to weird or like Dire Antwood, like, I mean, weird
Oh,
videos
they
are pretty par for the course around here. Yeah, Mark
they have
definitely.
got some hilarious videos.
Oh, I know, and that's what I'm saying is like I appreciate a good video, and especially honestly, and Jen got it too today. I appreciate the irony and just the small like the way the cam. For example, I'm by the way, guys, I'm talking about the sleepcore
Yes.
video. But with the way that, like, when it was a vocal, it would go from you to your brother to you to your brother, like, depending on who was doing the vocal. And it
That's
was
right.
sort of subtle if you were just like, what the hell, looking at people all laying around sleeping, right? So, I mean, you probably caught it, but maybe didn't. But the way the camera moved from this to that, it just made sense. It kind of like focused, like as if it was a music video where you kind of focusing on the one that's doing the vocals, except you're sleeping. So,
That Kat, you actually nailed it. That was the whole idea behind. Okay, if we're sleeping, how are we actually gonna make this interesting? Beyond like it's supposed to be bad in a sense,
right.
obviously. But the idea of cutting, as if we were playing, the first shot of the vocals, and you just see my face next to a mic. Um, that's like kind of the first real comedic scene that you see. And then you're right, it just cuts over to Carter, or even in certain sections, it cuts over to the guitars or like the snare drum when there's a drum fill or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the end, I don't know if you found this, but we had kind of tried to make the watcher or the listener think that we were going to get up for that last breakdown.
Right.
And so you just see brief movements from all of us, but sure enough, we don't get up by the end. Like just to keep it bad.
No, it was great because it was that moment where you're like, oh no, and I
Yeah,
the
exactly. You go, oh, no, no. Yeah, they're sleeping.
the best one honestly was the sleeping, grabbing the mic, and then falling down the stairs.
Yes, Carter's shot there was hilarious, and Jen, I think Jen said, "How did he not wake up?" And then, yeah, this guy's a deep sleeper. He's huge.
No, and she caught the comedic value of it, and she caught what you were doing with the video. She got it.
Oh, absolutely. Did she ever?
That means everything. I'm sorry. I have to say this. Shout out to Chris and Matt. 307 nailed their reaction video. If anybody
Oh,
hasn't seen 307 reacts reacting to that video, just type in 307 reacts and type in just put sleepcore. That's all you got to do. It will come up, and it is. I had tears. I was laughing so hard.
I never, in a million years, expected them to do a reaction like that, where they maybe I shouldn't spoil it, just so that everyone can go and check it out. But I'm gonna type it in here now. Make sure that's 307 Sleepcore.
Yeah, absolutely. It was they absolutely nailed it, and if it's a treat, and a lot of people have seen it because I did post it. I was dying, and they're friends of our channel, so a lot of people, are they follow them. However, if you haven't seen it, it's worth seeing the reaction to that video. Um, it's
So Snooze Core. If you type in 307
snooze core.
Snooze
That's right.
Core, that it'll pop up right there, number one.
And I know Chris, he always sends me videos while he's editing. And he's like, oh my God. Like, I'm supposed to be editing for an hour. It's been 4. He'll send me
You know,
videos.
the first time, like we got involved in the community after 307 did. I think the first video they reacted to was the Surface Hillbilly Metal,
Yes.
and
I'm
they
pretty sure
just
that was, yeah.
yeah, we found it online, or I can't remember how we found it, and we pulled it up, and you can tell in their videos, for most people anyway, you can tell like kind of if they're genuine or if they're kind of putting on an act,
Yeah.
and immediately, you can just kind of tell that these are like two best friends hanging out, making videos, having a good time, people who genuinely enjoy music, which is
Absolutely.
key. Like if you're gonna react to music and you're not a diehard music fan, then something's going on here.
Or if
So
it's like all about like what thumbnails you can pull out of your face during the reaction, like we're not here for that. So a lot of people that we are as part we consider part of our community, part of our family, the people that we say people we fuck with, um, they're not going to be like that because we tend to drop them like a bad habit. Um, but I was going to ask you. Obviously, you and Carter are brothers, so there's an obvious connection there. How did everybody else come in? Has this been like you guys grew up together? Did you put out an ad? I'm just curious.
no, that is a great question actually. So it's I'll give you kind of the somewhat long form answer. So basically, Carter and I grew up. Our childhood was in Ottawa, Ontario, which is the capital of Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and our parents were musicians, and they really got us into making music. And Carter started on the guitar, I started on drums, and that's how we started like our musical endeavors. Um, and then essentially we moved a couple times, and then we landed in a place called Stouffville, which is just north of Toronto by about an hour. And Carter started basically a music project with some friends from Stouffville High, and eventually, as they do, a lot of the high school bands came to an end,
Right.
uh, and we knew a different band, and that band was called As the Structure Fails. And so we had actually played shows with As the Structure Fails when Carter and I weren't in the band. We're talking years ago. So As the Structure Fails was a high school band that actually made it through. Those guys came from high school, and now we're the band we are today. But essentially, we played shows with them, and then long story short, Carter and I joined As the Structure Fails in probably 2013, 14.
Mm-hmm.
We started writing music, and took us a long time to do it, but we eventually dropped a full album in 2018, and that was like our first real, debut, first good try kind of at music and becoming artists. We'd played shows and everything like that, but we hadn't really released music and tried to push ourselves out there.
Right.
And then really then you fast forward to about 2020. What a year that was.
Yeah.
We dropped The Surface, and that was January 12th of 2020, and it far exceeded our expectations, because at the time, it wasn't like it is now, where, we have a big confidence in what we're doing and support from, our community. This was the first time we dropped a video that was, how do you describe it? I guess, comedic. This was our first comedic video.
Right.
And so we finally dropped that, and then it was a big success, and we had a ton of encouragement from that. And then we took a break, in a sense. We said, okay, what are we gonna do? We dropped a couple other songs. We dropped a song called "Consumed by Smoke" and a song called "Distorted Lives" in that time. Because this is, of course, during COVID, so after we dropped Surface, basically shows got cut off.
Right. So you couldn't go like out doing on
could,
tour or doing any kind of performing.
Yeah, we couldn't go out, so basically we dropped the song, and then COVID hit, and then we just said, okay, well, we got to kind of make a new plan here, and so we bunkered down. Literally had a writing week, studio weeks where we just go ham, writing and recording and doing everything that's needed to make the music that we make.
Right.
And I would say then we finally got into the groove of things, and now like where we are today is we're on a roll. We're dropping music videos, basically, or we're dropping songs at least monthly. Our YouTube now is in a completely different place, and we got more fans than we've ever had.
Right.
And we're gonna keep going, because we got tons of stuff in the pipeline, and this is basically the peak for our band, in the sense of we've never been doing better than we have than we are today. So it's super encouraging in that sense. It's always it's always easy to go forward when you're doing the best you've ever done, right?
Right. Well, it's your momentum.
That's it. Exactly. That's the word right there. We're on we got strong momentum right now, and it's super encouraging. And with you have people like 307 reacting to your videos, or anyone that they ask you to come on your podcast, whatever it may be. It's just all moving in the right direction where we want to go, and hopefully to full-time music at some point, and we can come out there to Texas and hang out with you guys. And 307's in, is it Ohio?
No, they're in Wyoming, I think.
Wyoming, yeah, that's what it is.
It's a W state. I always mix them up, and they always have to correct me.
Yeah, Casper or Douglas, I think.
Yeah, Casper. Mm-hmm.
Casper, is it? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. They're going to come on and be like, why are you lying?
Oh, yeah.
Why are you telling everybody wrong information? I'm sorry.
So I'll give Carter a call here, though, see if he is able to join in. See if he's got any other further thoughts on that. But hopefully that all made sense and give you like a brief background to where we came from.
No, absolutely, because I think what people don't understand is you can have momentum, but if your trajectory is in a flat line, you're not going anywhere. So the hustle, the grind, the pushing yourself, putting yourself out there, putting content out there, interacting with fans, all of that is how you push your trajectory upwards. right? Because if you're just going straight forward in a straight line, I mean, you're just going to be plateaued. Even if you have momentum, you can go nowhere fast. It's easy.
Mm,
You just have
mm.
to be constantly trying to climb and do better and do other things. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you know, and that's when you say that, it brings up a point of, you know, we didn't want to do the same thing over and over. We thought to ourselves, what can we do that's different? What can we do that is going to make people say, "Oh, I know that band," right?
you could sleep on the set. That.
So right, you know, just sleep sleep for a full video and see what happens. Or you know, put in hillbilly teeth and go, you know, go make something that you've never ever seen. Because that's what we do a lot of the time is we're trying to make something that people haven't seen. And that's a good start. Like for any musicians or artists out there, that's something that I would recommend is if you've seen it before, then it's maybe an idea to not necessarily do that, but to come up with something original.
Do you want me to jump into that other call?
Um, is there a separate call?
Uh huh.
There he is.
Let me jump into that one.
Is that, are you not hearing? Carter, can you speak?
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Never mind. I lied.
Yeah, so I joined him into, just wanted to make sure that was working.
Hey, how's
Because
it going?
I use Facebook like all the time. Yeah, I know tons. No, I have no idea. I don't use Facebook ever. So, what's up, Carter? It is nice to meet you. I'm Kat, and welcome in. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much for having us both on here.
No, absolutely. We've
So,
been stoked for this, man. We've been excited. I know that we had one person that was driving 90 miles an hour trying to get home to make it in time. We've had, there's been a lot of interest in your music whenever we do put it forward. People love it. Like I said, every person that's like watched it on a public platform has loved it. One person didn't understand the video, but everybody loved it anyway.
That's awesome. That's like the general that's like the general thing for people that like don't really know what's going on. They're like, "Oh, the music's pretty good, but I don't really get the video."
Well, there's not much to get. Like,
Yeah, like people
I
some
totally
people
agree.
some people just don't see like that it's just a joke. We're just being funny, we're being ourselves, we're trying to do something that you've never seen before. People just go, I don't get it." But
Right. And
the second when people actually meet us, then they all go, okay, it makes sense. They're just jokesters or whatever. They're just coming up with something.
well,
mm,
I'm just curious. How does it work with both you guys being vocalists?
yeah. Oh, well, I mean,
Well, obviously you
I'd
both
say-
use your voices. Like, I mean more like, how do you decide who's going to do what part? Is it just kind of organic and natural, or do you have to say, that's my line and that's yours?
um, well, there's some stuff that's just like, um, sometimes we're singing both of us at once, so essentially it's impossible to pick whose line it's going to be because we both have to take one or the other.
Right.
Um, and generally, I think we go by sound mostly and by what's going to help us with the live performance. So if, you know, if Carter has to sing the All the Weight chorus, you know, coming up, it might not be the best idea for him to say the last line in the verse.
Of course.
Yeah. So, I mean, the number one thing, though, that we do go for, number one, is before any of that would be just, okay, who do we think fits better on what line? So if it's a certain song or a certain guitar riff that's calling for a different feel, okay, maybe that we need to get Kyle on this or me. So it's kind of like, yeah, no, we definitely don't go line by line, or we try to just go by feel.
No, that's refreshing to hear that, right? Because then it just means it just makes sense. If it makes
Yeah.
sense to y'all, then it's gonna make sense when you guys are actually performing it. Um,
Yeah.
do you guys have like your niche, like what you do, like with your vocals, what you do and what you do, like separately? That, oh well, if it's this, it's gonna be me every time, or do you guys kind of crisscross?
Oh, we crisscross. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
pretty,
I
pretty
mean,
awesome.
right off the hop, the go-to would be like obviously like this is Carter speaking, so I typically have just a lower natural tone. So sometimes, you know, maybe it would call for Carter on the beginning of a breakdown. We'll always crisscross because Kyle can do the lows just as good. So we say, oh, we can have fun with it. Get Kyle going in on this breakdown. Carter will take that one. So it's really cool that, I don't know, just I'm bigging you up, Kyle, but you know, we have the ability to kind of throw each other wherever we want and just practice till we get it 100%, you know?
Well, see, let me give an example of context of where I'm coming from with that question. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Our Last Night.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
we ever.
so obviously, of the two, one does specific type of vocals, right? And the other one does regular sing-songy, but then whenever it goes into that like scream, like that real in your face, like melt your earphones off. It's what are, you know what I'm saying? It's not both. So they each have their own niche of what they're doing. So you can see how they structure their songs in that way. You guys, I already knew you guys kind of overlap because I hear that. I just wanted to hear from you guys how you kind of go about that. If you have something you prefer to do, if it's like a higher or lower, or do you guys like to just switch it up and,
Yeah,
confuse the shit out of people sometimes? Because that's fun.
yeah. It's definitely a mix, right?
Yeah,
We definitely aren't working on a I do this, you do that.
right.
It's 100% like a collaboration with where we sound the best, and with the actual physicality of the singing. Is it physically possible to sing it live? And that's a freedom in a sense. So then, um, I can take Carter's part or he can take my part, essentially, and we can still make it work with our music just because we're ambidextrous in a sense, like vocally.
No, that's awesome. Do you guys write, or does the entire band write as a whole, as a team?
Um, Typically it's, I
As a
don't know,
whole, for sure.
we write together, but the base bones of songs are typically written by two or three of us, and
Right.
then we normally bring in the whole band once the song's at about 75% to do lyrics, vocal patterns, and any structural changes before all of that as well. We get everyone's say in on songs basically that are about 80% done.
Okay. No, that's cool because I was just curious. Some people, everybody's different. I mean, I'm not saying anything that you guys don't know, um, but everybody's different. Some people start, and it's the same if you're, no matter what genre you're in. Some people start with the music, the band, the background, whether it be rapid, it's a beat, or whether it be a live band, and they structure all of that, and then layer the vocals on top of that to match, or some of them do it all at one shot. There's just all these different, there's no wrong way to do it, really.
No,
Oh,
yeah, that's the cool thing about music, right? Like everyone, you know, especially just original songwriters, you know, they all have their own way of doing things, which I find so cool because, you know, for me, typically I like doing things one way, and then another band will do things a fully other way and come out with a product that's, you know, just as top notch. It's really cool to see. You
mhm.
can do like the process in like so many different ways, you know, and come out with a great song.
No,
Oh yeah. There's
absolutely.
no there's no one size fits all when it comes to songwriting. That is 100%. Because you can come up with a course melody in your head, and then you could write the instruments to it, or you could write a guitar riff and you could write vocals to it.
which
Um,
which we've done both before.
oh yeah,
I mean, typically ATSF would be instruments first, and then we typically would layer up um, how we feel. How's the song make me feel? Okay, sit on that for like a week and see what type of lyrics I can write from how, you know, the way the song is making me feel. What mood am I being put into? Uh, you know, mentally, and then I kind of try to we kind of both try to flow in that direction. um but that being said, Kyle's right too. You know, sometimes we've just been like, hey, I got a great chorus melody, voice memo on your phone, and then we write a song around it.
Hmm.
And see, I am absolutely not creative in any way, shape, or form. I am creatively challenged. So I'm what my friend scolds. He's co-host sometimes. He's co-host all the time. He's an artist as well. He calls me what a pure listener. In other words, I'm not creative. Um, so it's always fascinating to hear how things get put together, how bands come together. A lot of people love live bands. It's a whole different. It hits different than a beat that's playing in the background while people are rapping or something. But when you have the full band that's working together, it's a whole. It's a whole vibe.
100%. Yeah. I love watching bands perform. I always have.
And see, there goes Champagne Rain. Love that there are still bands out there that actually play instruments.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
It definitely has a like the live atmosphere. When it comes to like the mix of something, in a sense, you'll never the mix of a recording and the mix live is, you don't get the mixed record sound live. It's meant to sound different in a way.
Right.
Live music is not always about replicating the record. Sometimes it is, but oftentimes you'll hear bands that certain things sound better live, or they'll increase speed or lower speed for certain songs live. I've seen bands do that. Or even they'll change certain things, change lyrics. Like there was one band, they used to have a city in one of their songs, like during the lyrics, and every time they tour a new city, they would just change the city name. So you're kind of getting a customized show experience when you see a live band. Is what I'm getting at.
Oh yeah.
No, I get that because I have, and people don't come at my neck, but I have my personal opinion is I like fully recorded songs. I like them if they're going to be a released song, have it mixed and mastered, have it cleaned up and pretty, and put a bow on it. Like that's what the recorded song's for. If I want a live performance, I'm gonna go to a live performance. I don't like to watch live performances not live. Like because it's just I think it hits different when you're there. It's
Oh,
almost
you
like you
mean like
can't.
oh yeah, 100%. Like some of these, what we watched was we sat down together. I can't remember if it was 2021 or 2020. The band got together and we sat down and we watched. I don't know. We bought the volumes and Kyle. What show was that? It was an online performance.
It was
Volume.
Volumes. I don't remember if there was another band. It was 100% Volumes though.
Yeah, so it was a volumes show, and they basically did a live performance, streaming. Basically, they streamed a live performance and sold it online for online tickets. And like since it was our first time, it was cool and everything, and we had a good time, obviously,
Mix
but
was great.
not even close to seeing a band live, seeing that same band live. It wasn't even close for me.
And
You don't feel the bass as much, right? Like the rhythm section especially, I think, is something that can only be translated properly in a live setting.
Hmm.
well, I mean, if you think about it, it also has to do with mood. Being there physically or in person, your adrenaline's going, your excitement's up there, like you're into it. When you're sitting at your computer watching, it's just I don't care who you are. It's not the same. It just it can't be.
I agree. Yeah, it's like even the whole vibe of just what happens when you get a bunch of people together in a space. It just feels good. You got people around you that are into the same type of whatever, right?
Yeah.
Music, anything in any niche. It's cool that you're around people that enjoy the same type of music as you, and there's a lot of things that go on with just being in person that you'd never be able to replicate through a computer.
That's why I put the huge gap in between. I'm not one to watch live performances like on YouTube, for example. I want either a pretty package with a bow or I want to be there live. Like I
One or
don't
the other.
For me there's no in between, but I know a lot of people love live performances. They like to recommend them or watch them, and that's fine. To each their own. That's just my personal take on it. And Champagne Rain says, I want the personality at the live show, possible flaws and all. That's the best part. Like, someone can sing off pitch the whole time, but everybody's so amped up, nobody cares.
Oh yeah. And you know, it was actually a cool one. You were touching on it before, Kyle, of how, you know, music can be different than how the record was. We actually got quite a cool comment from somebody, somebody in Ottawa. We just played a show this weekend, and a fan was basically saying that their favorite song live wasn't even one of their favorite songs that they listened to, like on their like Spotify.
Their least favorite on the record.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was so interesting.
Well, I mean,
their favorite song live is the least favorite on the record. Interesting, 100%.
so that's case in point for the it hits different.
Oh yeah.
I mean, honestly. I mean, you can't get any more clear than that. But I mean, like
Yeah.
I said, some people don't want to go in person to a performance, which is understandable. Some people want to hear a live performance and listen to that. That's what they want to bump in their car. Oh, hey, to each your own. I just feel like people need to experience it, and I'm not the one to talk, but I have plans. I have multiple things live I'm going to this year. I just think people need to appreciate, especially when you have a full band. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot that goes into that, and there's so much attention to detail and just how it all works out, and the talent of each individual person can stand out as a group, if that makes any sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can hear the talent of each person in the group because of the way it's put together.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, being there live too, you can watch the guitar player play the solo. You can see the vocalist do XYZ. You can watch the drummer do the crazy drum fill. You know, you can listen to all these different parts that maybe you're not listening to, you know, when you're just listening to music, but you actually get to physically see it. And I feel like that also changes it.
Hey, what up? Just Jen Reacts is in the chat. She said she'd swing by, and she's here. What's
What
up,
up,
sis?
Jan?
Yeah, she
Hey.
just reacted to that, and for anybody that doesn't know, if you're watching later, she just reacted to good Lord have mercy. She just reacted to one of your videos on her live a little bit ago.
Yeah, that's right. That was awesome. And what did she say? You know what? She was cracking up. She was cracking up about the whole thing. So, you know, of the people that like really get the idea, like it hits home for them. A lot of people say, well, the worst video of the year. What? You know?
Yeah, well, they figured that it was going to be some kind of tongue-in-cheek, like, nah, it's not really. I was like, did you label it that yourself, or was that like someone gave you the title? Or...
No, it was the idea. It was, you know, what are we gonna call this, right? You know, are we just gonna call this As the Structure Fails All the Way, or are we gonna call this something that makes people think that is, you know, people love to. It sparks curiosity. Is why we did it.
No,
And,
absolutely.
And a conversation too, because then, you know, people are saying this isn't the worst, which is, you know, always good to hear.
Well, absolutely, and plus you're kind of pushing them to say that too.
Yeah, exactly. Like that title was, you know, we're going at it for the sense of, hey, you know what? Like at least it's gonna bring in people that like it, and it's also gonna bring in people who don't like it, and we're fine with that. So if the title, you know, can bring in a couple more people or comments, you know, that more than what just our band name and the song title would have been, you know, that's all that matters. It did its job.
No, absolutely. I completely. I was curious though, because you do have a lot of themed stuff, for lack of a better way to put it. You have like themes in some of your videos.
Yeah.
Just as a whole, out of all of your body of work that is out there right now that people can access, right? So that we can go, hey, we want to go listen to that. Each one of you, whether it's the same or a different one, what song either resonates with you or speaks as what you feel like is who you are?
That's a good question. Kyle, you want to go first, or I can?
No, I can go first. the song that introduces most people to our band is it's hillbilly metal. It's called The Surface. Um, that was the one that, in a sense, started the whole themed video idea. So that was like the OG. And
Right.
so, if you're just gonna go to our channel and watch a video right now, that's the one to go check out. That's the one we dropped first, and that song, we rewrote the chorus 3 times. We had
That
a
that
chorus.
song had an unbelievable journey. Like, there was a few of us that before the song came out, like, we didn't even want to hear it again because it went through so many like renditions.
Right.
We're talking full chorus. Changed the entire guitar, changed the drums, changed the vocal, changed the lyrics, the entire thing 3 times over. So the writing was months. It literally probably took us 6 months to write that song.
Just too long in terms of like how we're doing now. But you're right though. Looking back on it, that was the start of all of the theme type videos. It was the first big, what's gonna happen if we release something like this? There was nowhere to look. You know what I mean? Like, when you can go and see if something worked.
Right.
We didn't know. There's nothing to look at. Like, let's just release this video, and we need to go as deep and as hard as we can into character and just see what happens, right?
Yeah, but it makes it unique.
That's right. And it ended up doing phenomenal. So, obviously, 2 years ago, we never would have thought that we'd be at where we're at now. The video today, I think The Surface is going to crack 700K today.
Oh, congrats. That's amazing.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So, 2 years ago, we're thinking that we're sitting there going, man, I don't know if we should even do this idea, right? And it's just cool looking back now.
I mean,
right. That's what I was telling Catherine before, which was, at the time it was like, should we be doing this? But now it's, we're really in a different light as a band where we've gained that confidence in what we're doing. Whereas when we dropped The Surface, it was all unknown.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's kind of how it goes. I mean, with practice makes perfect, and sometimes you put something out and it just wah wah. And it's like, okay. And you can adjust, but at least when you hit that level where you're confident and you're comfortable with what I'm not saying what you're doing as a band or like with your music. I'm saying how you're putting it out there in order to kind of gain momentum and stuff. You can start doing what you want and just leaning into it and enjoying it versus like, well, I gotta try this, maybe hit this box, check that box. You don't have to do any of that. You can just put out what you want, and it just screams you guys, right?
That's it. Yeah.
And you don't have that at first because you just don't know how people will react. The same with when people try to put out, they do metal and they decide, you know what, I want to do a country song, or maybe they want to do metal rap or something, and they're like, I don't know how this is gonna go. And that hesitation sometimes is actually their downfall, because they could just do it. If it does great. If it doesn't, oh well, moving on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's half the thing. That's what we said before we dropped it. We said, okay, you know what, we're gonna do it, and if it doesn't work out, it's all good. We try the next idea. On to the next, right?
I think that's very common to get, like, analysis paralysis.
Yes.
Especially as, even when we were writing The Surface, we had that bad, and, everyone still struggles to that to this day. A lot less from us than we used to, but that is, like, something that is so crippling, I would say, to young musicians or people who are starting off. They're trying to get into, the music scene, is just overthinking everything. Stuff that, people won't notice. You don't have to hone in onto the smallest details, especially when you're just starting. Like, it's not needed.
Right.
I think it holds you back, and that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I do, however, I will say this, and people have heard me say this before. I do think that some people underthink a little bit. Just because
definitely.
Just because you got it onto a track and you know how to click a button doesn't mean you should release the music or call it music for that matter.
Oh, true. Kyle brings up the point of there are many people that are perfectionists, and we were just like that at the beginning. But there's also the opposite side of the spectrum with what you're saying. People are just releasing music, and how much further that song could have went if you did a little bit of background work before dropping it, where what to do, who to talk to, where to send it.
Or learn how to sing, that helps.
Yeah, actually mastering your craft, very important.
That does help.
Hey, what's up, Sherry? Welcome in. Hey, Truth is here too. Truth reacted to that same song as well. He didn't understand the video as much, but he loved the music.
Nice.
Truth, who's
Beats, bars, and delivery. He's Truth No Lie. He's an artist as well. He's a rapper.
So if anyone new is just hopping in the chat, just to answer with what you're saying, we're just having fun with these videos. We're just a group of 5 friends that just love hanging out and having a good time and trying to make content that people might find humorous to lift up their day. So something other than just a performance every time, which is what we're trying to come up with other ideas for. It's not, we don't take ourselves too seriously. It's all just for fun.
Well, yeah. I do have to say, one of the things, and I'm not, there's no way that I can articulate the correct words that'll mean what I'm saying. So I'm going to attempt. This is something I do. So basically, I'm going to use that same song as an example. There's a point where it gets loud. It's like that, but then it's like, it gets calm but sing-songy. And it's real like, it feels like you're like floating on that vocal.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Almost like I don't want to say power, like a power sound. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in power metal, like you hear that strong vocal, but it's kind of like you're like riding on it, versus it being like real like growly or real screamy or being like, or being real choppy. It's just real smooth.
Yeah, it's Carter doing the low octave, probably on the I'm holding all the way.
Are you talking about the new one?
Yeah, she's talking about All the Way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's referencing you doing the low octave chorus.
Shut up, Champagne. I see, everybody knows I can't describe with a shit. I know what I'm trying to say, but articulating it is not quite in my. I can't. I just know how it sounds. I don't know how else to describe.
Do you know the what seconds in the song that you're talking about?
No.
Okay.
It's literally the point where the chorus kind of lowers a little bit. And
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Kyle's right. It's when we drop to the. There's only one time that we do that. I'm not using like the normal chorus singing tone on top of the guitars. All the distorted guitars drop out, and then it's just me singing the chorus lightly before it gets into the full chorus.
Yeah, that part. I love when songs do that. That's something I really personally love, because especially when a song is really like, which I don't mind that at all. But when it all pulls back and gets quiet for a second, and then you can just ride that sound. Oh, I'm like,
oh yeah,
love it.
I agree. We, like a few of us, when we're watching live music, it's funny that you said that actually, because we were actually just talking about this on Saturday. Really trying to give the distortion a break, right? Like, of course we're a metal band, and we're going to have a lot of breakdowns and a lot of distorted guitars, but if we can articulate the softer spots, it's going to make the distorted guitar sound better when it hits, right?
Yeah.
So it's trying to use it all to not just, if you're always doing one thing, it doesn't sound as intense, right? If you're doing a breakdown the whole song, the breakdown's now not as heavy, right?
Right.
If you're doing a really clean section the whole time, it's not going to be as like floaty and nice. So it's like, really what we've been trying to hone in on is exactly what you were saying right there. Trying to really dial in on songwriting for using the up and downs in the music to cater to each section.
Well, for me, that I love that. That's one of my favorite parts about songs in general. When they do something like that, they pull back, they drop a lot of that instrumental, and just kind of let it ride for a second, let you breathe for a second, and then you can nail me 6 ways from Sunday and just knock me over, and I'm good. I just need that, and then yeah, and you go into the next part.
No, yeah, for sure. It's if you don't have any dynamics, then your song's not gonna be as powerful.
Yeah,
That's
You know,
fact.
put plainly.
yeah. I'm not a fan of metal that goes hard, start to finish nonstop. There's just I feel like my hair is being blown back the whole time. Like,
Mm.
Yeah, you need the break. You
no,
need
I
the
do.
break.
That's me though. Some
Yeah.
people like that. Hey, to each everybody's own. Like what you like. I'm not yucking your yum or anything, but for me, that's what I like, and that's one thing that actually I heard in your music that caught my attention right away.
And hey, is there any where do the metal bands play in your area?
Hell, I don't even know.
Have you ever seen a metal show in your? Are you in Houston or where are
I'm in
you?
Houston area. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually, I'm actually a legit hermit at this point. I'm a single
Oh
mom. I
yeah,
work full time from
COVID
home, so
remnant.
I go nowhere. And so
Mm,
this year, my goal, I actually am traveling to Virginia for a beatbox competition in November. I'm going to Vegas with like Just Gen Reacts and a couple others in the spring. And then
Nice.
I have um, actual artists that I know personally or have interviewed or have them on as guests that I'm friends with who are touring this fall, and they've invited me to come. So to
very cool.
when they come in, so I'm gonna start going out. I just haven't, so I'm not sure yet.
Well, you'll be out when we're playing Houston.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Hey, you come play Houston, I'll make a special trip. I'll be there.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a
That
promise.
would be
Yeah.
well, we are gonna have to go though in a couple minutes here. I got a call coming up.
No,
Just an F.
absolutely. I appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to me and to share some of your insights in the background of your band. I think you guys are amazing, and deserve all of the support that you can get. And anybody that's listening, you guys go check them out, subscribe, watch the videos if you like, hit subscribe, of course. Share them. Show up next time they drop something. You know.
And we'll be
Yeah.
back soon. We'll do
Thank you
this
very
again.
much. Yeah, we'll do it again and right back at you. That was a blast. You're
Mark,
asking some good questions there. Thank you very much.
Mark wants you to play Portland, by the way.
Oh, 100% we'll be playing Portland. We're going to come through the U.S., and when we do, we hope to hit as many states as we possibly can,
That's
honestly.
awesome. Well, we'll be
Yeah.
following you guys. You will, at least I know I will. We'll be following your progress and everything that you guys are doing. So, much love, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, we do our best to get back to everybody as well. So feel free, any of you guys, DM the band.
Yeah.
We're always there to talk. Our DMs are open. We get back to everybody. So if you ever want to literally just talk and hang out, somebody will message you back.
And if you have ideas for videos, hit them up. Let them know.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. Video ideas on our YouTube. Comment on our YouTube. That is where I'm looking at them. On the sleep metal video, I've pinned a comment even for video ideas, so you can. It's pretty hilarious what some of the people have said. Actually, if you go through some of them, there's some really clever ideas. So post it there, and
Yeah, 100%.
anything else? Any last things you want to ask us, or anyone in the chat? Just leaving that open.
And definitely, if you guys have further questions, you can drop them in the comments or just hit them up on Instagram or on their YouTube. It's in the description. And I gotta go make dinner, so fun for that. And I know you guys are busy, so I can't thank you enough. And everybody that's here or listening later, we love all y'all.
Yes, we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Big
Alright,
shout
guys.
out to Catherine.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. We're just gonna get out of here, and y'all have a good night.
Yeah,
Talk
let's link
soon.
up again.
Definitely. All right, you guys,
All right.
have a good one.
You too.
Later.